on with us, Bill Eddy. Hey, Bill, tell us about your book.
Well, my book is about bullies.
Perfect.
Bullies are showing up everywhere today. They're showing up on the highway, in the airplanes, walking down the street, at ball games, everywhere. And so people need to be prepared. That's what my book's about.
Amen.
People know.
We might have a bully in here with us. That's why we have you on, Bill. So here's the book is called Our New World of Adult Bullies. Comes out June 11th. And this is Bill Eddy, but our Eddy. Eddy, say hi.
Yeah. Hey, Bill.
You're the one that suggested this. Why? What do you want to know?
Well, I just think that some people, deal with workplace bullies. And in our case, I sit next to one of them, and he just bullies people for no reason. And I just kind of wanted an idea of, why is he doing this? Where does this come from?
Question. Bill, why would an adult be a bully in the workplace?
People are kind of grow up this way. And so it isn't like a decision. It's just part of their personality. And so they like to dominate people, and that's the theme for bullies. They want to dominate other people. I don't know if that's true in this case.
Obviously, we're talking about you, but what do you want to see? Anything now?
Yeah, Bill, they call me a bully because I like to win and I like to be honest. Like, we have people on here that aren't good at certain things, so I tell them, you're not good at something. That's not being a bully, right, Bill?
No, not at all. Bullies want other people to lose. They don't just want to win. They want people to lose. They want people to suffer. They want people to feel bad.
Well, I do want them to lose,
dominated.
Yeah, when you make fun of people for no reason, what is your point with that?
Just to let them know that they're not as good as me.
Right. Would you feel like Mr. Eddy, Bill Eddy, that was a bully behavior?
The key is if it's personal, like you're talking about the whole person.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, look, like I'm terrible at baseball. Okay. You can tell me I'm terrible at baseball. I don't take that personally because I write books. And so that makes me feel okay. But if you say as a whole person, I'm a piece of dirt or, I'm a whatever, that's when it's bullying, when you're really trying to rub the person into the ground.
Do adult bullies begin as childhood bullies, Bill?
Generally, yes, but 90% of childhood bullies outgrow it by adulthood. So these are the ones that don't outgrow it and tend to be more refined, but they still act like they're kind of on the playground. So it's not that unusual, but about 5 to 10% of people seem to have this characteristic.
How would you confront an adult bully?
How would I what?
How do we confront an adult bully? Because as a kid, you're told just punch him in the nose. But how would we do it as an adult?
Yeah, so as an adult, I want you to take the assertive approach. So don't be passive and let them pick on you and just kind of let it go. But also don't be so aggressive that you look like you're a bully too. So being assertive, something like say, hey, cut it out, that's enough. Or I don't agree with you, I see it differently, give me a break. So when you stand up to a bully, as long as it's safe, don't stand up to a bully who's going to kill you, but stand up to a bully and assert yourself. They usually go somewhere else. They don't pick on you anymore. And we see that in the workplace. They try everybody, but the person that accepts it, that tolerates it, that's where they start to focus. And bullying isn't just one incident. It's an ongoing pattern of behavior that tends to eat away at the other person's self-esteem. They get sick, they have stomach aches, headaches, they don't come into work. So that's the kind of thing that's really bullying in the workplace.
Bill, do you find a connection? Because you said, it started in the playground, bullying in the playground. Do you feel there's a connection between what we do, being on the radio? It's kind of a playground. We still have fun every morning. Do you think maybe because the environment that our bully is in kind of feels like he's still on the playground at school, but he's an adult?
Well, it depends because there's a line between fun. And fun is when everyone knows, like teasing. Some people just can't stand teasing and some people love it. And you guys love it. So, hey, that's not the problem. The problem is when a group of people picking on one person or one person really picking on that person and trying to just run them into the ground, dominate or even destroy them. It's really a totally negative thing. It's not a fun thing. So,
Amen.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun on the playground. And teasing isn't bullying. It's when it's out to get you personally. That's when it's really bullying.
So, Bill, would you say that your book is geared towards nerds? Because nerds get picked on, and so then nerds in the workplace get picked on. So you're trying to help the nerds out that haven't grown out of that nerdum from the playground?
Well, to some extent, like I said, we're all vulnerable, susceptible to bullies. We got to be aware. But I think, people kind of nerdy, and I identify with that. And I start out the book with an introduction, talk about being bullied in 3rd grade. But I grew out of that, and I figured out I got to figure out how to manage these folks. And then I made a career out of it. So I think anybody that feels intimidated needs to be more assertive. That's part of what this is about. We can't individually or even as a group tolerate real bullying, that we really need to put a stop to it. And it seems to be increasing these days, so that's why I wrote the book now.
At what stage do we punch the bully in the nose?
Good question, Bones.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that the key thing is the threat that you're going to do that. See, that's what, on the playground as kids, people just did that. But as adults, we say, hey, if you keep that up, but I don't recommend punching them in the nose, but I recommend saying, I'm going to end this conversation. I'm going to unplug you, or I'm going to walk away. I'm going to do something. But like I said, you don't want to do the aggressive act. You want to be the assertive one. When you punch them in the nose, then the bully gets you in trouble. And they just, see what he did to me, see what he did to me.
Right.
And everyone looks at you. So don't be aggressive, but be assertive. Don't be passive, be assertive. That's the key.
We have a lot of parents listen to our show, and they may be dealing with this with their kids, and where their kids are being bullied. Now, your book is about adult bullies, but what can you tell the parents as far as how to handle if their kid is being bullied at school?
Basically telling them a variety of things. One is, again, this assertive approach. Don't be passive, don't be aggressive. Just speak up and say, hey, I don't like that, and then walk away. Just a short sentence. People think you have to have a big confrontation. You don't have to. Just a short sentence. Say, I don't like that. Leave me alone. And then walk away. So, or just stand your ground right there and say, I don't like that. Cut it out. And bullies generally cut it out. They go where people will tolerate them. So speak up, but also talk to somebody. Talk to a teacher, talk to one of the other kids. When I was in 3rd grade and I got bullied then, I figured out I'm going to hang out with the bigger kids. And the bigger kids, they'll take care of me as long as I help them with their homework.
That's
so
what I
you
did.
find
That's
a way.
Exactly what you did.
That's what I did. I paid for protection when I was a kid. I would do people's homework. I would make money doing it, and then I would use a little bit of that to protect me from the bullies, and I'd give them a couple bucks to make sure I don't get beat up. How do you feel about that, Bill Eddy?
I think that really works. That's what worked for me. So
Look at us.
I think it's whatever strategy, just don't let yourself be run over, but don't run over the other person either. Equal relationships are the happiest relationships. So that's what seems to work. When people take advantage of you or you take advantage of other people, that's when it gets into bullying.
Abby, would you come up to the microphone for a second? Obviously, we've been talking a bit about Lunchbox and how he seemingly bullies you. Would you say he bullies you sometimes?
Yeah, I would say so.
And
How so?
Have you learned anything from Bill here?
I learned a lot.
Well, and how will you be different after this interview?
Because now all I have to say is, I don't like that. Just walk away. Because usually I am. I'm just very passive, and I kind of let it happen. So.
Abby, sing something for Bill so I can.
No, we're not.
No.
Because you think she's a bad singer. You're
Right, and
bullying
so
her
you got
right now.
no, I'm not.
Hey, tell Bill about that.
So, Bill, here's what happened. Abby moved to Nashville. She wanted to be a singer. It didn't quite work out for her. And we were like, great. And she pivoted, and now she works on this radio show, this podcast. And so she does a great job. Well, I got her to sing one day, and she was pretty good. And so she came out, and she opened for us, Eddie and I. She's done a couple other things. But Lunchbox continues to bully her because he does not think she's good. He will bring up out of nowhere how she is a terrible singer when we're not even talking about that. So that's the background on that. What would you say if I told you that story about that situation?
Well, it's kind of depends which side of the border that is, because depending on your relationship, it can be fun and
not
like
fun.
I said, teasing. Some people like teasing.
Abby doesn't
but
like
some
it.
people don't.
No, she doesn't like it, Bill.
Then she should speak up. Yep.
Yeah, 'cause it's
that's
been-
right on the edge there.
Or she should stop singing, Bill.
No, that's no.
Oh.
See, is that bullying right there?
Yes, he's bullying you
No,
and put
that's
Bill
not
on.
bullying. That's giving my opinion.
Okay. Bill Eddy is on with us, and he wrote a book And it's all about stopping bullying with adults. Our New World of Adult Bullies, How to Spot Them, How to Stop Them. Now, Bill, you also wrote another book called 5 Types of People Who Can Ruin Your Life.
Oh,
Right. Identifying and dealing with narcissists, sociopaths, and other high conflict personalities.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, the Venn diagram, it seems like our bully also would be part of this book as well.
There's certainly some overlap. It
Yeah.
depends. The bully has a drive to dominate or destroy. Some people with those personalities don't have a drive to dominate or destroy other people. Like a narcissist might be self-centered, think they're superior, but they don't really bully people. So it really depends. Some are bullies and some aren't.
Yeah. And how do we deal with bullies who are also narcissists?
Well, the thing with narcissists is they like to say they're superior. And so sometimes what you do is you say, oh, you're really good at something. And they go, yeah, I'm really good at something. And that calms them down. So find something they're good at you can respect them for. But also, again, set limits and have consequences. If you keep talking to me this way, then this is what I'm going to do. And so, a narcissist may be a bully, maybe not, but they cross that line, then you've got to speak up or get help to speak up and say, hey, this person's, really being hurtful to me and I need your help. Can you give me a hand here? Of course, in the workplace, some people really get destroyed. Like I've got examples, I got 60 examples in my book of people getting bullied. And in some of those in the workplace, they really need to get organizational help. So they've got to go up the ladder to find somebody that'll give them a hand, human resources or a higher up division chief. And some people ruin their whole companies because they got a bully at the top.
Yeah.
So they could show up anywhere, but it's setting limits, being assertive, that's the key.
Okay, Lunchbox, one final thing to Bill. Do you have anything you want to say?
Oh, I tuned out, man. He's doing a lot of nerd talk. And I was like, man, all right, cool.
Oh, my goodness.
But I mean, Bill, like you're right. Like it's whatever side of the border you're on, right? Like
Oh, no.
No.
Now you've given him something to walk away from this interview going, I'm just on the side of the border.
Yeah, I'm just on the side of the border that you guys don't want to be on, so you say it's bullying. If you thought Abby was a bad singer, you'd be on my side of this.
If we ask Abby, does she feel like she's getting bullied, and she says yes, I think that would be a cue for you to
But
stop.
that's her side
No,
of the
but-
border. My side of the border is it's not. It's giving feedback. It's
But
like
she's
if I
not- she
if I-
doesn't
if-
ask for your feedback.
Bill, if I went to a restaurant and a waiter or waitress wasn't doing a good job and I gave him feedback, is that bullying or is that, telling him, hey, you need to improve at your job?
I'd say partly it depends how you give them feedback. If you say, here, I want to give you a tip. I think if you do this, it's better than that. But, bullying's repeated behavior. So if you repeat the behavior and the person repeats that they don't like it, then that crosses the line, I'd say. So you gotta do it gently and just occasionally.
So you're
The
telling
more-
me Abby's been bullying me this whole time because
Oh,
she
boy.
keeps singing. I tell her I don't like it, and she continues to do it.
Well, maybe you need a mediator. See, that's one of the other things I talk about in the book. Sometimes you need a mediator to come up with a compromise so that you can maybe hear some singing and maybe not hear some singing and find the right balance for the two of you.
This is too
Eddie,
much.
one final thing.
Yeah, Bill, so are we doomed? Like, is he always going to be like this, or can we fix him? Is there a cure for bullying?
Punch him in the nose.
Well, a lot of the cure that we find, like workplace, is coaching. So we developed a coaching method, new ways for work, for productive relationships. So coaching sometimes, you coach somebody to practice being assertive instead of being aggressive, to give the other person some empathy, some attention, some respect. We call it ear statements. And when bullies learn to give people ear statements, they stop bullying. They on more friendly terms. They're not, total personality change, but this softens the rough edges. And that's a lot of what you need in the workplace. Just soften those sharp elbows. And that's a lot of what we teach in our trainings and our coaching. So yes, there's hope. There's room for compromise. There's maybe some coaching in the future. I'll leave that up to you. I can't judge any particular situation offhand, that's for sure.
Hey, Abby, what have you learned now? This is the last opportunity to talk to Bill. Like, what are you going to do from this point forward when you feel bullied by Lunchbox?
Well, basically not listen to what he says.
Amen.
And just be like, leave me alone and pick on someone else.
You need to set a boundary. Say,
Yes,
I'm
set a
setting this boundary. I will not allow you to make me feel this way or say this about me. Stop it.
Yes. And I basically tuned him out anyway.
I like
so.
what she said. She goes, I'm going to tell him to pick on someone
No,
else.
we can't
so she's
say
trying
that.
to
Oh,
pass
yeah,
the
shoot.
bullying down.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was
You
good.
want to
Maybe
bully
that's not
somebody
the
else
best.
other
That's
than
what she
you?
said.
But yeah, pick on someone your own size. But is that not the best way?
I don't know that it's passed the buck onto somebody else.
I know.
But
That's the thing. He never gives me any tips to get better. He's just like, you sound nasally. So, like,
Right.
is there anything else he got? Or
your tip is stop singing.
Or surgery.
Or surgery.
oh my god. Okay. See.
Okay.
I don't know.
Bill Eddy's the Chief Innovation Officer of the High Conflict Institute and author of Our New World of Adult Bullies. The book comes out June 11th. You've given us some good advice here, Bill Eddy, and I hope the book does amazing numbers, and we really appreciate your time.
Thanks so much. Glad to be on.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's about